Hi there, it's Skyward Shield. Welcome to a new Football Talks. I am joined by Bill. Say hello, Bill.
Hey, hey!
Week 10 is in the books. We only have 7 more weeks of regular season football. It honestly feels like we have a long way to go, but it's going to come faster than you think. We're almost to Thanksgiving. That's when you know you've hit the last legs of the regular season. But we're
Exactly.
not there yet. We're almost there, but not there yet. So let's just go over week 7, which was arguably the best week of football so far because we've had a lot of closer games and more enjoyable games. So, Bill, let's get started right away with one of the more boring games, I would say, in terms of pure offense, because the Houston Texans, they were actually, fun fact, once again, the Texans score first out of all the games when they all happen at the same time. The Texans were the first on the board for at least 3 times now in the season, which is,
Dang.
you would think if you put points that quickly, you'd be, piling them on, winning 35 to 30 or something. No, no, not at all. Brock Osweiler threw it for 99 yards, no triple digit today. But somehow, no, I mean, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's one thing to note. Somehow that was enough to carry this team to a 24-21 win. Should note the game was not as close as you think. It
Right.
was not as close as you think because there was. I'll put it this way: there was a lack of special teams. A lot of bad special teams this week, Bill. I mean, there's the Saints game, the Patriots Seahawks game, the Cowboys Steelers game. There was no good special teams this week. Like everyone was giving up a lot of yardage, and the Jaguars were no better.
Yes, I mean, overall, from what I saw, I think didn't Nick Novak miss a field goal for
He
the?
missed 2. He only got 1. He was 1 for 3, which is
Ew.
bad. That is a red flag. I don't like that, but I can only hope he'll get his shit together later. I
Right.
mean, he's used to playing. It's not a dome. The Texans Stadium isn't a dome, but they mostly keep it closed.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
kind of call it a dome.
I
What,
mean,
Bill?
uh, overall, he should be very used to kicking in the elements. I mean, he did play in San Diego and was a decent kicker in San Diego for the Chargers before moving over to the Texans. So, I don't know what his issue is this
Yeah,
year.
well, he's no Blair Walsh so far, so let's just hope it doesn't come to that.
It's very true. Very true.
Blair, with a name like Blair Walsh, that sounds like a 70s All Pro that made it to the Hall of Fame 10 years ago. But no, it's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
No.
Like, if you want to talk about kickers that are going in the Hall of Fame that are still playing right now, that is Dan Bailey for sure and Adam Vinatieri.
Yep.
I am surprised Adam Vinatieri is not even. I mean, kickers never. There's only one kicker who won MVP. I would give him that just because just counting his whole career. Forget about 1 year
Right.
because he is one of the best kickers up there with the Washington football team's kicker. I forget his name. Bill, you
Um,
know his name.
I I don't remember it. Oh
You've said his
geez.
name before, so that's why I thought you'd know. But it's what
Oh,
it's.
is it?
Just,
I don't remember it.
just search it up, Bill. You got time.
But
Uh,
Adam Vinatieri though. Adam Vinatieri does deserve to go into the Hall of Fame though.
oh, he's
That's
going in. He's a shoe in whenever he does retire, if he retires. But, anyway, so back to this game and the Jaguars. I mean, Blake Bortles is melting down horribly. I can't tell you who is truly the worst quarterback today because while Osweiler played mistake-free football, it's clear that they are heavily leaning on the run. And here's the most savage thing I saw over the day. There was a poll with the Texans fan base and saying if if you keep winning with Osweiler, do you still want him in? 1% said yes. 99 said no.
oh jeez.
Everyone is still skeptical about this. This is, I would say, one of the worst 6-3 teams I have ever seen, because you're playing a lot of bad teams, because you're in a bad division, and even games you're winning, it's a lot of luck and the team's just giving up. I mean, they should be 5-4 right now, but the Colts defense shut down early. They shut down, they didn't save, and that's why they lost.
Right. I mean, literally, the Texans. The only good thing was that Osweiler got rid of the turnovers, which was his major issue going into the game. It's the fact that you have one of the best wide receivers in the game and you can't get him the football.
Honestly, from how I'm seeing it, it's looking to be more of a tight end dependency type of thing. You see C.J. Fedorowicz getting catches. Ryan Griffin caught his first touchdown of the year. Steven Anderson, that tight end I was going to say would light it up, who's been out for most of the season with an injury. He's back. He gets his first career touchdown. Pretty good one at that. There's a lot of plays involving the tight ends, which is like, okay, why don't you make a move for some Jimmy Graham-like player, a really good tight end. In fact, hey, Cincinnati, since you're getting rid of everyone but A.J. Green, how about you give us Tyler Eifert, assuming he doesn't break his leg on the way over here?
Yeah, well, that's really thanks to the Pro Bowl. If he didn't even play in that game, he wouldn't have even been injured for the entire first half of the year. But,
usually that doesn't happen because players don't even play at 100%. Not because they can't, just because they don't want to. It's just, this is fun. It's just, it's not for real. You're not trying to win a Super Bowl. You're just playing for fun, which that's the only reason the Super Bowl exists for these players, just because it's an extra game for fun. That's all there is to it. But oh boy, Bill. I mean, Hopkins got a catch against Jalen Ramsey when it mattered, and oh man, that Jalen Ramsey must have felt so disrespected. He's like, oh yeah, nobody dares throw in the face of me, and he's been right for most of the time, but he makes him pay. He got owned by Brock Osweiler, which, I mean, Hopkins made the play when he needed to. It was good. But Lamar Miller has been playing with a shoulder injury, which actually worries me, but at the same time, this means they are going to lessen his workload.
Right. Which means more Alfred Blue. And
Alfred Blue is getting better, Bill. He is carrying people on his back and still running for 10 yards. This was the second time his career this year that he has run for 10 while having players hold on to him. This guy has been working out. This guy, he could probably carry, at this rate, he might be able to carry J.J. Watt with him for 10 yards.
It's possible. I mean, overall, if you want an unsung hero of the Houston Texans, it's Alfred Blue. I mean, what he's
It's not
been
just him.
asked
They activated another running back today.
Yeah.
They activated Akeem Hunt from the practice squad. He came in, ran. He had a lot of good. He had like a 3rd and 16. I think he had a run for. He got a first down. Really good. Then I think another third down situation was a 2nd down. It wasn't first. Gets a first down. Gets licked by a Jaguar. So he tries to get a call because he was going down. I think it could have been a flag. I don't think I see why the refs didn't do it because he's the ball player. You can get away with more shots, but I mean he didn't get a concussion out of it, so it's fine. If he did, then I'm pretty sure that guy would have got fined by now. But Akeem Hunt gives them another element of speed, a quick burst. I mean Tyler Irving has been playing he's been playing special teams for now. But he ran for, I think, 30 yards for a punt return, and then there's one where he nearly threw the game. He muffed a punt and dropped it behind the 5, which that almost screamed, "Oh no, we're having one of these games again." Right. But no, I mean you saw what happened at the end. 3rd down, 3rd and 5, give it to Hopkins. End of the game. GG.
Yep.
Jaguars, Bill. I don't even know if they fired. I I don't know if they fired what's his name, Gus Bradley.
He really needs
I
to
said
go.
today he would get fired, and I don't know if he has. Has he, Bill? Any
I,
word on that yet?
I haven't seen anything about him getting fired yet.
I
I
think they're
just
gonna keep him. I think they're gonna keep him for Detroit because this is a road game.
just don't get why you keep. But I can see why they're not gonna do that. I mean, they're not going anywhere as it is right now. Why not
The
just?
if they would have to win out from here to go 9-7. I think if they lose, to me this next game is literally win or go home for them because they would have to win out, and that would still require the Texans, the Titans, and the Colts to lose another game or two.
Right.
I mean, primarily the Texans and the Titans.
And Jacksonville has an issue. They still
It's their
have.
quarterback, Bill. Blake Bortles. Look, he threw a pick six to Kareem Jackson. Kareem Jackson, he's seen this song and dance from. I think he just gets a pick off of Blake Bortles. Like if he played against Blake Bortles for all 16 games, he's gonna get a pick in pretty much 14 out of those 16 games. He makes it look so easy because Blake Bortles is that predictable. And then not only that, this is something I have never seen as well before. You throw a ball so hard. It bounces off some player's leg and into Whitney Merciless's hand. They called it a fumble, but I would call that an interception because it didn't go in his hands. It just bounced off. That's like okay, look, if you hit a player in the helmet with the football and it landed in another player's hands, that's an interception, right?
Yes.
That should have been another interception for him, not a fumble recovery. But you know what? I'll take it. Turnovers are turnovers. That's like picking
It,
between apples and oranges.
it was
But
like
I
a,
just want to
it
say
was like a
that was an
super
interception.
fumble.
What, Bill?
It was a super fumble.
That was a very fun fumble to see because oh boy, I mean when I saw it on Vine, you see it slow motion. It's like how do you throw a ball like that was worse than Osweiler, and you've seen Osweiler underthrow things, but I'm still gonna say it. I don't want to see more Brock Osweiler. He's getting boring. I mean, here's the thing: if you win or lose to the Raiders, if you can't put anything more than 3 touchdowns on them, or at least go over 175 yards minimum, which even then I still think is bad. So let's just raise the bar. If you don't go over 200 yards against the Raiders, which have one of the worst defenses in the league, I mean, granted it's getting better, but as things stand, still one of the worst defenses in the league, you are not worth that money.
Right. No. No.
It's
Just,
very boring. Hold
I
on a
mean,
second. All right, sorry about that. Bill, what were you trying to say?
I mean, you just need more than 100 yards of your quarterback. I mean, overall, it was good enough to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars are not, going to set anybody on fire anytime soon with how Blake Bortles is playing. And that Jacksonville defense is bad, and you only got 99 yards.
They need to
That's
bench
scary.
him. They need to bench him just so they can see what's wrong with him because his arm work is not good. Like someone compared his arm throw to Derek Carr's, and you can see that they both throw it in a different way. Carr's is a lot more sharp. I mean, it doesn't mean it had to be thrown like fast, but the motions are the problem. He is ignoring the basic fundamentals, and that's what's ultimately holding this team hostage. Because I don't think the defense is playing garbage. I don't think the other offensive players are playing bad. I think all the pieces are there for them to be a playoff contender, but I think it's just Blake Bortles holding them down, which is unfortunate for them. But that's just what it is.
Very possible.
It is possible, but yeah, I mean, other than that, Osweiler got throws when they mattered. He got the first downs. He played mistake-free. I guess that's a sign of improvement, but he came off a bye, and he's going to get a little extended week because they're going to go to Mexico to play the Raiders, and I am actually very excited for that game. It's going to be fun.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to this one. Is arguably game of the week because it was this or the Patriots Seahawks game. It's really debatable. It's up to you. This game went back and forth. This one had, I think, 6 or 7 lead changes, which hadn't happened this year, but it did. And I don't think I could not have been more wrong. I swear to God, if the Cowboys go to the Super Bowl and actually win it, I mean, just getting there is a problem for me, but if they win it, I'm going to start saying every team should go 4-12 because then they'll prove me wrong and be in the Final Four. Because that's what it feels like, Bill. The Cowboys are personally out for blood to stick it to me. Which, good for you, I guess, but, oh God, I can't. I am shocked because this was a game that could have gone either way. And if multiverse exists, there's a universe where the Cowboys blew it because guess what? Big Ben used the Dan Marino trick that haunts the Jets' memories forever. And then, it's like last year, I think. Was it 2 years ago? Aaron Rodgers, same thing. Fake spike. Fake spike, it looked like, oh no, the Dallas Cowboys just threw this one. No, Pittsburgh's like, nah, it's okay, guys. You can have it back. We don't want this win. We don't need first place. We don't want to go to the playoffs. Yep. They let Ezekiel Elliott, it looked like, okay, 3rd and 8, like a 3rd and long type of situation. Just run it a bit, get in a good spot so Dan Bailey can kick a game-winning field goal. No, goes through the line somehow makes a hole on a blitz, no less, and lets Ezekiel Elliott run for 30 yards untouched. It is horrible. The Pittsburgh Steelers, I know their defense. I heard their defense was improving. Their secondary's okay, but for God's sakes, they have no linemen. It's like they weren't even there. There was only one team, I think, that was playing worser defense than them, and they were in Music City at that moment.
Right.
That was putrid defense from them. But to be fair, I'm gonna say this: yes, be glad your Cowboys are 8-1. That's good. The worst they can go now is 8-8. That means the worst you can go is even. Congrats, you're guaranteed. You're guaranteed no losing record, but Pittsburgh should give you some concern at the same time because look, they hung 30. I mean, yes, you still haven't gotten your 100-yard. No, you did get your 100-yard receiver in Antonio Brown. You gave that up. You still haven't given up a 100-yard rush, which is good. At least you have good run defense, which that's gonna matter when you play a team like the Seattle Seahawks in the final games. Right. But you still had given up 30 points. It should have been more because, Bill, you want to know what really killed Pittsburgh? All the missed conversions.
Yep, exactly. That's what I was going to bring up. What really should have happened is the Pittsburgh Steelers should have been kicking, extra points, but Mike Tomlin has this idiotic notion to consistently go for 2-pointers.
He does not trust his kicker.
But here's the thing: you take your points. I mean, what's the worst thing if you don't trust your kicker? I mean,
how's he gonna get better?
A 2-point conversion is not guaranteed either. I'd rather.
It's less likely.
Yes, it's very much less likely, and I'll put it this way: I would rather, put my faith in a kicker that is getting paid millions of dollars a year to kick for me, rather than put my faith in, a 2-point conversion that is most likely.
Imagine if they got every single one, Bill. You want to know what the score would have been? 36-35. They still would have been ahead. They would have forced Dallas to go for 2, which they didn't actually do either. They didn't do it, so that's their problem. Even if they just went for the 3s, it would have been, 35-33? All you needed to do was go for a field goal then. Which they missed one, too, which that's another 3 points that would have haunted them. If you add that, then it would have been 39-35. The Cowboys would have still been behind. You would have won. All those missed points. Each point that they missed was an extra shot in the foot, which by this point, there isn't a foot anymore. You shot it so many times, you don't have a foot anymore. You only have one left. Good job. Pittsburgh could not have thrown this any harder. I think they threw it so hard, it already reached the East Coast. That's how hard they threw this game. But to be fair, if it were the other way around, it would have been all Dallas Cowboys finally lose a game. They blew it big. They blew it big to Pittsburgh in the most silly fashion ever. The fake spike. And remember, Bill, this isn't the first time a fake spike would have beaten them. A few years ago, when they played Detroit, at Detroit, what happened? Matt Stafford fake spikes it at the 1-yard line, dives in, touchdown. That's the end of that.
Right, and that was very much a favorite play of mine.
Fun fact, Bill, you can watch that game and that play on YouTube right now. The game is up for a whole game. The live broadcast up there.
Man.
I need to rewatch it. They also have the playoff game that they won 25 years ago. In case you want to watch that one.
Oh, man. The only playoff win they've had in the last 60 years. But at least I was alive for it, I guess.
I was too young. No, was I even alive? No, I don't think I was yet. It was 93, right? Yeah, that was the year I was born, but that was like 6 months. I mean, I guess technically I was alive,
Right.
but, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't out in the world yet, but anyway.
You're definitely not a functioning thought.
Okay, Bill, I'm just saying, prepare yourself now, because it's already coming out. Forget Ezekiel Elliott for Rookie of the Year. Everyone's saying he should be MVP. You know what I say to that? No, sir. No, sir. I understand that, but I know it. I'm tired of giving it to another quarterback. But you want to know who still has shots at being an MVP? I still think Tom Brady can win an MVP award. I still think that Derek Carr could. I still think Matt Stafford and Matt Ryan could. But there's another one. There's another guy that everyone's forgetting about. And his name is John Cena. No, I'm fucking with you. I totally should have done that. I totally should do that. If I remember, I'm totally putting, and his name is John Cena. But anyway, so who I'm really thinking of is Russell Wilson, who we're going to talk about later. But Russell Wilson's been playing not at 100%, and still winning them games, if not a tie. But you're still winning them games. You're probably going to get second or first, depending on how the Cowboys do, because literally their chances of getting in, all they need to do is win out all their games and have Dallas lose one, which I think is possible, and they'll get in. You know why, Bill?
Why?
Because the Cowboys have lost a division game as well. If they lose another one, then the Seahawks have the advantage, because the other game that they would have technically lost to was a tie. That tie will get them the first. That will give them a home field advantage. So you might all want to say, yes, it's over. Dallas has won. Home advantage because the Falcons lost. No, they're not the ones you should be thinking about or worrying about. It's the Seahawks. Because, Bill, I'm thinking it's going to come down to Seattle and Dallas now. It's going to be between those teams, and we could use this almost to transition to the next game. But the Seahawks are playing even better. They are playing like they were when they won the Super Bowl, and that's scary.
Yes.
That's scary. You think, oh, they lost Marshawn Lynch, it's over. No, they're not sure. They don't have a star running back, but they don't need to when you have 3 types of running backs to do 3 different things. So it's a way we're gonna give this defense a type of poison and then switch it out, put another type of poison, switch it out, go back to another poison. You keep switching out these running backs to confuse a defense.
Right. Yes.
But I mean, Ezekiel Elliott playing like he's the only player right now that's gone over 1,000 yards rushing. So that's something to note. But Bill, do you think he should be overall MVP? Do you think he has that chance? Do you think he deserves that type of chance? He has a chance. You know why I think he has a chance? You know what I'm going to say.
He's on a winning team, for one. And for two...
That's not the reason. Because he's a Dallas Cowboy. The Cowboys factor is coming into this. Also, one thing I want to note. It sounds like I'm hating, but this is just something I noticed. On that touchdown that Des Bryant caught, thanks for it in memorial of his dad, but that if the refs were looking carefully, that should have been an offensive pass interference.
Yeah.
Because Dez put his hands to the face on one of the corners.
They don't call that.
They usually do. There were 3 instances where he does that, which there was also a tug at first and then the push to the face. There were 2 instances where they could have caught him for pass interference, which luckily he didn't get. That touchdown was part of the reason why they won, obviously, but good for him. But I'm just saying, yeah, oh God, you better not try that shit again, because in any other situation, you might get caught. Because that's an easy pass interference. Because they call more offensive pass interferences now, Bill.
They do, but I mean, overall, if 9 out of 10 times you're not going to see offensive.
But I wouldn't try it. I don't want to be that 1 out of 10, Bill. You don't want to be the 1 out of 10.
Obviously not, but I mean, literally, 9 out of 10 times you're not going to get called because offensive players don't get.
Well, Bill, you'll get called if you're Detroit.
What?
You'll get called if you're Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get 15 flags and an idiot referee smirking about it. But I mean,
I think Morelli is controlling them.
There's a lot. People want to ask why the ratings are down. The referees are horrifyingly bad, and it's prevalent in that Dallas game. It was prevalent all over the NFL.
But I will say, the defense for Dallas is still worrisome a little bit. The line is fine. I think the defensive line is doing their job, but it's that secondary. That secondary is going to be their Achilles heel if they lose. When they lose, it's the secondary's fault, which, look, you saw, if the Cowboys didn't respond to that fake spike with another touchdown, who would have taken the blame. It would have been the Dallas defense. It's the secondary. Too banged up. You don't have Morris Claiborne, who's out for the year. You could sure use him, because sooner or later you're going to play Odell Beckham again, and good luck with that. We saw what happened the last time Brandon Carr tried covering him. You saw what is considered the greatest catch ever, which not really. I mean we have that play called the catch for a reason. Then we have Megatron's triple coverage Hail Mary touchdown, but whatever. I guess those don't count because it's not glamorous. It doesn't have the right angles. It doesn't look clean and perfect. It's not like 16th Chapel tier catch. And it doesn't get Alan Chris rock hard because that's what they love. NFC East teams doing fabulous plays so they can look like, NFC East best division.
Right.
But anyway, Bill, let's transition to the next game. Seahawks, as I mentioned, they beat the Pats, Bill. I don't know how they did it. Actually, no, I know how they did it, and I'm going to get this out of the way. Tom Brady made a mistake that Matt Stafford would have done last year and years before. He forced the ball to his best player when he had no reason to.
Right.
And 4th and goal, he just threw the ball, no check down, to Rob Gronkowski. Rob was nowhere, not even close, despite his big build, able to catch that. Too high a throw. It was bad. It was, if anything, similar to the end of the AFC title game last year. That's the thing that I take away. Brady made a Stafford mistake. Like how Stafford would force the ball to Megatron, and I think that's why Stafford's better, because he don't have that safety net. He needs to really pay attention and look for the openings instead of just saying, oh, Megatron will make the play, because he's Megatron.
Right. And that's not a good way of thinking. Obviously, Brady just gets too locked onto Gronkowski way too often.
Yep. I mean, I'm not mad at this game. It was a good game. I mean, again, arguably, it's debatable which you think was the better game between Pittsburgh, Dallas, and New England Seahawks. But the Seahawks got their revenge because it seems every team that has a grudge wins the match. That's what it seems. So who knows? At the rate it's going, the Patriots will beat the Broncos in like a week 15 or 14, whenever that happens.
Yeah,
I forget when.
like that.
So yeah, revenge games are going good in favor of the aggressors, I guess you should call them. Can't call them revengers or revengees. Or I guess Avenger would be another way, but whatever. So, yeah, Seahawks defense played good. In fact, Brady gave his first interception of the year. The whole Patriots, for that matter. It's crazy to believe that not even Garoppolo and Jake Brisket didn't throw an interception as well.
Right. That was a really crazy stat. Just the amount of time that the Patriots haven't done that sort of stuff. You know,
Yeah.
and it's a sad thing to see end, but you know, it was.
Imagine going a whole
to
season
happen.
without one.
I don't think that's actually happened in
That would be
football.
crazy if it did.
I honestly
But anyway,
don't believe that's ever happened.
yeah, but anyway, so the other thing is this defense played so soft. I don't know how, but I think they've actually regressed compared to last year. Last year was one of the best defenses they've had in a very long time, and the talent's there. I just don't think they're playing disciplined enough.
I would say overall, I feel like it was just two very evenly matched teams, very well coached teams that went against one another,
I'm pretty
you
sure
know,
this is going to be the Super Bowl matchup, but this is what worries me. The Seahawks defense was missing Michael Bennett.
I,
And if they play each other in the Super Bowl, chances are both sides will be fully healthy, and I think I'd take the Seahawks if it came down to that, because as well as they're playing, I'm not. There aren't many teams who could stop them. I mean, the only one I can think of are the L.A. Rams, because well, the Rams always seem to be able to beat the Seahawks somehow. That's because what's his name? The Rams head coach, Jeff Fisher.
Jeff
I
Fisher,
think he only cares about divisional games. So, like, the Rams play like a good team only on divisional games. So there's that.
right? Yeah.
That's like the only team who could stop them, I think, at this point.
Right. Very possible. I honestly believe it's going to be probably New England and Seattle. Definitely. Uh, just just overall, just how that game was played last night is indicative of two great teams playing each other. You know, it's like the early 90s Cowboys 49ers play when they would play each other every year. You know,
Yeah, but they played each other much more frequently than this.
I mean, it's almost sort of like Indy against New England in the middle 2000s. You know, they played each other a lot, whereas these guys don't play each other very often. But I think the NFL will start seeing the value in having a Patriots Seahawks rivalry while Tom Brady is still you know, the quarterback of that team.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I'll say is that I think that the Seahawks have found the winning formula, and Russell Wilson was moving in the pocket again, like his past self. I don't think he's entirely 100%, but he's like 95%, I would say. So, come next week, unless they play either the Rams or another really good defense, which I don't see many on their schedule, I think they're probably going to have a shot. They have a legit shot at taking that home field advantage from the Cowboys if the Cowboys fuck up, which I'm telling you this, Bill, there's no way the Cowboys are going to go 15-1. I just can't see it. I think they're going to lose to their division rivals. I think they're going to lose to the Giants and the Eagles. Those are the two games I can say they're going to lose. The other games, they have a shot at winning, because not even the Vikings scare. The Vikings don't scare me at this point. I kind of wish the Texans played them now instead of earlier, because they could have probably beat them at the way they're going.
Right.
So that's just me. I think that these Seahawks are crazy, and that's why I say Russell Wilson. If anything, he should be another MVP candidate, because he had to play through injury, and he's been doing just fine. And when I look at the rest of their schedule, I can see them winning all of their games. That's a tall order, but I think it's possible considering a lot of these teams are soft and they're not playing at their best. Like if I looked at it in the beginning of the year, oh yeah, Packers, Panthers, they might lose to those two teams. Now I'm thinking, oh, they might just run them over. They might just run them over like if they were on a steamroller. That's how bad they would get squashed. Because those two are playing horrid. Abhorrid. Rest in peace, Aaron Rodgers. You didn't stand a chance this year. But I think that's all I can say about this game. Not much to say because I think it went back and forth. It was a great game. I still thought it was a fun game. Came down to the end, but it ended in a very similar way to the Super Bowl. But honestly, the Seahawks can laugh all they want, but I mean, remember the last time you beat the Patriots, what happened a few years later? Oh, right, the Super Bowl, Super Bowl 49, the greatest Super Bowl I've ever watched. And guess what? You lost that one. And I think I would rather win the Super Bowl against you than in a regular season.
It's still only a regular season game, and on to the next one for Bill Belichick and the Patriots. Literally, this really won't affect them. It only helps them. Because if you lose to a great team, all it does is motivate you.
Yep. Remember, they had a wake-up call when they played the Chiefs, and what happened then? They won the Super Bowl.
Right. Exactly.
Hashtag do your job. Anyway, Bill, let's move on to other games to mention before we get to the Pro Bowl. So, Bill, first one on the docket for me, I have to just say, how? The Chiefs, Bill, for 3.5 quarters, the Panthers were playing. Cam Newton was having fun. He was having his way with his Chiefs, and then all of a sudden, bye. There it goes. They were playing like they were playing like the game was close, and then you had that pick six by Eric Berry, who once again shows that he was comeback player of the year last year and is a great player. The Chiefs are being undersold a lot, but I think now they're definitely going to be considered as a Super Bowl candidate. I don't think they'll win it, but I can see them on a really good day, and I mean a really good day for them can go there.
Oh yeah.
Because you can't count them out. They're like the defensive version of the Lions, where like the Lions' offense is what keeps them in it, but the Chiefs' defense is what keeps Kansas City in it. Because the offense is not playing, like they did last year. Last year, the offense was what was also keeping them in it. But no, I think in this case, it's their defense. Even without the pressure on the quarterback, their defensive backs are making plays, ripping the ball off of Kelvin Benjamin and taking it into field goal range to win it. It was crazy. I kind of wish I could watch this game because it looked really fun. Just to think, Bill, it was 17-3 at one point, and then this happened.
Oh yeah.
It was heartbreaking for Panthers fans because look, the Falcons lost. If the Panthers and the Saints won these two games, then it would have been an open division again.
Oh, but nope.
They all lost, so it feels like nothing happened. Only one team reaped the rewards, and that was the Buccaneers, Bill. I told you. And also, I don't know if you saw it, Bill. This was insane. In fact, if I could say what is the play of the year, I would put this one up there because... Okay, so it's like a blitz from the Bears to Jameis Winston. He actually runs back because he's around at his 20, goes back to his own end zone, dodges a bunch of Bears players, throws like it's a Hail Mary, and gets it to Mike Evans. It is a spectacular catch. I don't know if you saw that play, Bill, because it was on phones everywhere. You did? Did you, Bill?
Yep, it was on the local news. Oh my God.
It was insane, and you have this one guy on the podcast like saying Marcus Mariota was so much better. I'm like, okay, dude. I would say, okay, dude. Was that not proof enough that Jameis Winston is just as good? I think Jameis Winston is better, but at the very least, these two are playing great as sophomore quarterbacks. They are, I mean, yes, the Titans are 500 and the Buccaneers are not, but Jameis Winston, he is going to get better, and as long as they keep adding pieces on both sides of the ball, sooner or later, these Bucks are going to be knocking on the playoff door, and they're just going to come barging in.
Right. Exactly.
I like Jameis Winston. I think he's a great quarterback. But he just needs more talent. I think with the trades that the Titans have gotten, and the players they've gotten, like DeMarco Murray, they've already made that leap a little sooner.
Right.
So who knows? The Bucks could do something similar, but we'll have to wait and see. And that Saints game, like I mentioned, Bill, there's two things I would like to know about that blocked kick. One, Jared Crick was holding the center down, so that way if he moved up a little, I forget who jumped and blocked it, but that guy would have gotten flagged for leaping. You can jump, but if you land on a player to essentially bounce off of them, that's a flag. But by holding him down, his legs wasn't able to land on him, so he's able to get a clean jump. But the other thing, I'm starting to think that maybe we should ban white cleats, so that way you can see if a player went out of bounds or not. Because with white cleats, it's a little hard. And I think that guy, I forget his name. He's a rookie though. The guy who scooped up the ball and took it to the house. I think he was out of bounds. You might say there wasn't enough to turn it, but from how I see his foot, it looks like it's on the line to me. If I can see a little black outline on the edge of it, and I see that it like on the out of bounds mark. So I would like to suggest the league ban white cleats because they're confusing. Because it makes situations like this confusing. Because if that was called out, it would have been a tie game, and it might have been an overtime game. Broncos might have still won. I don't know, but I would have liked to see the overtime game. But that's just me. I think he went out of bounds, so it shouldn't have counted. But oh well, whatever. I got the game right. But yeah, it hurts the Saints fans as well, because the Saints were keeping up with the Broncos in their defense, which Aqib Talib is still out. He's going to come back in a couple weeks though, but that's got to be heartbreaking, especially like I said, the Falcons lost. But other than that, really good slate of games, especially the Dolphins, Bill. The Dolphins are now positive. Unless they play the Patriots soon, they're going to keep winning games. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs, because I think it's going to go to the AFC West entirely, but I mean, Jay Ajayi alone has given them a new identity. They've given the Dolphins a second wind, essentially.
Yes.
But alright, Bill, let's move on to the Pro Bowl real quick, and then we can get to the picks.
Yep.
Alright, Bill, we're on the defensive side. I want to start things off with defensive linemen. Okay. So for my defensive ends, I'll only mention a couple. I have Khalil Mack. Get ready for a Mack attack. It took a while, but now he has 7 sacks in 5 games. That's absurd. This guy just woke up give a history quote. They have awoken a sleeping giant. So I think that's what they did. The NFL just woke up Khalil Mack saying, "Hey, you're not doing anything," and that made him mad. And now he's just swallowing up any quarterback that he sees. They don't stand a chance. My next one. This one is a rookie, actually, Bill. It's going to be a little bit of a hard reach, but I'm going to go with it anyway. I'm going to go with Joey Bosa. This guy's generated a fumble and 4 sacks in his first few games. He's generating a sack per game on average. And then with I think his name's Melvin Ingram. Those two are wreaking havoc on quarterbacks like Galore or whatever. And I think at the pace he's going, I think he should be bound for a Pro Bowl. If only he played those first 4 games, I think he would have been a shoo-in. Like, he would have been guaranteed that. But oh well. All I know is the Chargers hit it off by taking Bosa, because they needed defense.
Yeah.
Next one, this one is also a bit of a hard reach, but I think he should, considering he's the former first overall pick. I'm picking Jadeveon Clowney. Yes, he's forced to be a defensive end for the rest of the year, but I think he's fine. I'm just hopeful that He will come more to form because it's just between him and Merciless, but probably next year with Watt returning, this guy should be open for more plays because you saw on that Chiefs game, that last game Watt was able to play, that those three-man rush, they still get to Alex Smith because these, like, Clowney is a type of player that generates double coverage. And if you had three of them, you mean to tell me you're going to take 6 offensive linemen or 5 with the tight end to cover 3 guys? How is that even possible? But anyway, as for defensive tackles, to get them, I will only mention one, and that is Aaron Donald, because this guy is also a defensive MVP candidate. This guy does not get the recognition he deserves because he plays on a horrible Rams team that has 0 offense whatsoever, with or without Todd Gurley. I think he's a great player. 5 sacks for a defensive tackle. The only other one that has those numbers is Timmy Jernigan from the Ravens, which sounds like a no-name, which is a good sign for the Ravens because they cultivate their own talent. Yeah. They cultivate it. Which, good on them. All right, Bill, your turn.
All right, so my first one was Aaron Donald. Obviously, you know, he's been really, really good the entire year. Another one that is sort of overlooked is Gerald McCoy of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Well, he needs help. He's just a defensive tackle.
Yeah, he definitely needs help. But he's just really overlooked, and he is a damn good player.
Well, Bill, I think we can all agree that defensive tackles in general are overlooked because they're meant to stop the run. They don't get sacks that often, unlike defensive ends like J.J. Watt.
My next one is Jadeveon Clowney. I think he is come into his own in the NFL. It took a little bit, but hey. You know. And then my final one that I'm going to nominate is Cliff Averill of the Seattle Seahawks. All he does is cause havoc, and he is a force to be reckoned with, a former Detroit Lion. I got to give my former Lions some props, right?
Yep, no, I bet you miss him, though.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Bill. Let's get to the linebackers. I think you will go first for this one.
Okay, so obviously my first linebacker is Luke Kuechly. He's the best middle linebacker in the game, minus maybe a couple. My next linebacker is going to be Sean Lee. Sean Lee is way too important to the Dallas Cowboys. He's just way too important. The next one I'm going to go with is Anthony Barr of the Minnesota Vikings. You know, the Vikings defense for a while was pretty damn good, and he was a main component of it. And my last linebacker I'm nominating is Dante Hightower because he's just a beast. He's everywhere.
All right then, Bill. It's my turn, and here's how I'm going to start with outside linebackers. The first one I have to mention, it's my guy, it's my boy, Whitney Mercilus. This guy got paid a couple years ago, and he's reaping the rewards. He's also proving his worth. With the absence of Watt, he is still trying to step up. While he's not the number one guy you need to double cover, they're still, him and Clowney are generating enough havoc to give quarterbacks troubles, and I think Whitney Mercilus is an underrated linebacker in this talented pool otherwise. But anyway, next on my list, I'm going to have to go with a Tytoon. I'm shocked, but I got to go with the Tytoon here. Brian Orakpo is also coming to form for the Tytoons. He is wreaking havoc as well. 7 sacks. He ties with Ryan Kerrigan for second most sacks among linebackers, because the number one goes to D Ford for the Chiefs, because the Chiefs defense is like the AFC Seahawks, if you ask me. They've been kind of like the AFC Seahawks, but their offense has been a little more stale this year. But anyway, Next on the inside linebackers, I have this one might surprise you, Bill. I have C.J. Mosley. Why? Because he's a interception machine for a linebacker, which is really good. Those are hard to come by. He has 3 picks, no sacks though, which is probably why he might not make it in. But I think this guy's a good pick machine. He tracks the quarterback and goes in, makes the play. I mean, I like turnover machines. I miss my 2012 my 2014 defense for the Texans when they were the most positive turnover team in the NFL. And the last inside linebacker I will mention, this guy is the replacement for Brian Cushing. Benardrick McKinney, 3 sacks, a forced fumble. This guy is only a second-year player, and he's already generating this much power for the Texans. I only think he's going to get better. I think he's a great blitzer. If there's a hole, he's going to go through it and drill the quarterback for a loss. He's a good player, and he's only going to get better as time goes along. All right, Bill, now let's move on to cornerbacks and safeties. I'm going to go with a little bit of an easy one for me. I'm going to start with Patrick Peterson. Well, I think Richard Sherman's still like the best corner, and I know you probably have him, so I'm letting you get him. Patrick Peterson, I think, is one of the better or best defensive players on the Cardinals team. I think in this off year, he is one of the few showing signs of consistency. Next, I'm going to go with Josh Norman for the Washington football team. While he's been out for a couple games or a game with a concussion, I still think he is crucial to the Washington football team defense, because you saw in the Lions game what happens when he's gone. The passing game is so wide open. They can do just about any team can do whatever they want with you, because he is I think their Jenga piece on defense. You take him out and their defense is so much softer. So I think because of that level of necessity, I want him in the Pro Bowl. Also, to stick it to the Panthers, because they made a really bad choice in letting this guy go. It's like they didn't even sign anyone who was worth as much talent as him. That's the worst part for them. And lastly, assuming this guy comes back at some point this year, I'm going to go with Aqib Talib. 3 interceptions. He's only in his early 30s. I feel like he's going to be good for a few more years, and then he'll start to decline. But I just hope it's nothing like Darrelle Revis's decline for his sake. But anyway, Bill, your turn for the cornerbacks.
Right, so my corners are, of course, I'm going to start with Richard Sherman. All he does is shut down a side of the field. Obviously, he's probably one of the best corners in the league. And I'm going to go with one of his teammates as well, Earl Thomas.
We're getting to the safeties. I haven't gotten to the safeties yet for me, Bill.
Beast mode. I count safeties as part of the secondary, so.
Yeah, well, I'm getting to them late after you, but Bill, you're forgetting a cornerback. I can't believe you didn't pick this guy.
Obviously, I've got, of course, Darius Slay, because Darius Slay is a big play machine.
He's coming back this week, Bill. He's coming back.
For this Cardiac Cats offense. And then, of course, there's Malcolm Butler, who has grown from being an undrafted rookie into a starting pretty damn good corner. And, of course, I gotta go with Josh Norman. I mean, you see what happened to Carolina. That's easy.
I have one safety to mention. Well, technically 2. I have Earl Thomas, like you. 2 interceptions, pretty good. I think the secondary, the Legion of Boom, is absolute core. So you may as well put in every single Legion of Boom player, and you can call it a day. But I'll mention one who isn't in the Legion of Boom. In fact, he is far away from Seattle. Well, they're still on the same coastline, at least. In Oakland, we got another Oakland player. You didn't think you'd see one after Khalil Mack, but no, I have Reggie Nelson getting that game-winning interception against the Broncos. This guy searches for the ball. He could try to cover people. I mean, I would have mentioned the rookie safety for the Raiders, but I don't think he's at that point yet. He's playing better as time goes along, but he's nowhere near Pro Bowl ready just yet. Anyway, I think that'll do it for the Pro Bowl. I think we're good with this. All right, Bill, are you ready for the picks?
Indeed.
Start us off with Thursday Night Football.
All right. So it's an NBC game. It is the New Orleans Saints at the Carolina Panthers.
This is a win or go home type of game. If whoever loses this has zero chance of making the playoffs, and I'm going to go with the Panthers. I think neither are going to get in, but if the Panthers win, it just makes it hard for either team to go in. At least if the Saints win, they'd be 5-5. They'd still be in it because the NFC is so weak aside from the few good teams.
I'm switching my pick. I'm going with New Orleans. I think.
You're going with the Saints?
This is the game where Carolina gets eliminated from the playoffs.
You know what, Bill? Fuck it. I'm changing my pick as well. I'm going to the Saints. After seeing the way they lost, I think they're going to be playing more desperate now. I'll go over. I just hope you're right, Bill.
All right,
Bill.
Here we go. The 1 o'clock games. The Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cleveland Browns.
Pittsburgh is going to be mad for blowing that game. They're going to take this one easy. I'm calling 40-10.
Steelers are going to stomp the Browns into the ground and then stomp them into the ground again. Pittsburgh easy. All right, next up, the Baltimore Ravens at the Dallas Cowboys.
This is one team I think that could beat the Cowboys, but I'm going to side with Dallas for now. I just hope I'm wrong because someone needs to bring Dallas down to earth, and this defense is good. I just don't know if the offense can match up. What you got, Bill?
I think this is a game where the Baltimore Ravens are going to beat Dallas. I really do. And
I hope you're right.
I'm done.
I hope you're right.
So next up, the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Detroit Lions.
We got a cat fight, Bill, and I'm going to go with the Lions. Their claws will seep into the Jaguars as they claim the title King of the Jungle. I've got the Lions winning this one. And pretty comfortably. No more close games for a while. I think this is the start of I wouldn't say a steamroll type of session, but I think they're just going to beat them, let's say, 30-17.
I'm nervously optimistic, but I've got my Lions. Yeah.
And Bill, they're off a bye. I think with a lot of players returning to form and coming back from injuries, it should be good.
All right. So next up, the Tennessee Titans at the Indianapolis Colts.
The Colts also coming off a bye. I have the Colts winning this one. It's going to be close, but Andrew Luck is going to find something because I don't know how, but somehow all those 4 wins are because of Andrew Luck. Forget the rest of the team. Andrew Luck has been doing it all by himself, and I think he's going to do it all by himself to get to, a 7-9 type of season.
The Titans are going to run the football all over the Indianapolis Colts. And I got Tennessee beating Indy.
All right.
Next up, the Buffalo Bills at the Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, Bill, one other thing. The reason why I want the Colts to win is because as long as these teams keep splitting wins, it makes it easier for Houston to get in. But anyway, so for this game, I'm going to go with Cincinnati. In pure Rex Ryan fashion, they're going to blow a game after having a week off. Why? Because I just have a feeling is all that the Bills are going to choke at the end of the game.
I've got Cincinnati as well. I think they're well on their way of.
I think AJ Green's going to torch them. That's what I think.
Next up, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Kansas City Chiefs.
I was putting faith in Jameis Winston, but I don't think he stands a chance against this Chiefs team. The Chiefs about to go 8-2. It is horrifying to see this.
No, Chiefs easily win. I just don't see how Tampa's gonna win. Next up, the Chicago Bears at the New York Giants.
Oh god, the Giants have this one in the bag. I would almost make this a guaranteed win. Chicago may as well try Hail Marys all the time because they're not going to get anywhere near the end zone.
I've got New York as well. Just it's gonna be a blowout. Next up, the Arizona Cardinals at the Minnesota Vikings.
This would have been my game that I called a tie at the beginning of the year if I could have chosen. But no, I don't think it'll be a tie. I'm going to go with Arizona. Call me crazy. I know the Vikings are a good team at home, but they're just not doing good. It's just total meltdown in Minnesota. Rip the dream. Rip the dream.
Oh man, it is a total meltdown in Minnesota. I agree. I've got Arizona.
Oh, yes, war chaos for the world. War chaos.
Next up, the Miami Dolphins at the Los Angeles Rams.
Bring out Jared Goff, I hear from the stands, and it will happen after this game because the Dolphins, Jay Ajayi, is going to make Todd Gurley look like a joke. Not because Todd Gurley is bad, but no, because this Rams team doesn't know how to use him anymore. They forgot how to use him, and Jay Ajayi is going to show them how it's done. I have the Dolphins winning this one.
I agree. I've got the Dolphins winning this game as well.
The Dolphins, they are playing amazing right now, Bill, and I don't even know how. How does one guy alone do this? You know? If it wasn't Ezekiel Elliott getting all the hype, I think it would be Jay Ajayi. Because he came out of nowhere. But next game for me, because Jay Ajayi gets me excited for football now.
It's the New England Patriots at the San Francisco.
Oh god, if you want to talk about lopsided games, I can't tell what's worse between the Steelers and the Browns and the Patriots and the 49ers. Chip Kelly about to get schooled. Rex Ryan remembers when you beat him. Or not Rex Ryan, Bill Belichick remembers when you beat him, Chip. He's going to kick your ass. He's going to make you look bad. I have the Patriots stealing this one easy.
The 49ers are going to get slaughtered. This is a 60-point blowout.
You know what's going to happen, Bill? The Patriots are going to just destroy them, steal all their gold, steal their trophies, meld it into a golden throne for Tom Brady because he is the GOAT.
I mean, the Patriots are going to win very easily. Next up, the Philadelphia Eagles at the Seattle Seahawks.
It's a good game, fun game. But I'm going to go with the Seahawks. Seahawks playing too good. It's a good bird fight, but I don't think after the Eagles had their bird fight with the Falcons, I don't think they're going to be flying as high against the Seahawks. Going to be a good defensive slugfest, though.
This is a really damn good freaking defense against a rookie quarterback. I'll pick the damn good defense. Seattle, easy win.
I would say if this was in Philly, it might have been more enjoyable. Like I'd say more close.
All right. So next up, the Sunday night game, the Green Bay Packers at the Washington Football Team.
I swear, I think this game was flexed in, and I don't know what they switched it out for. That's what bothers me. I feel like this could have been another game, but I don't remember. But anyway, I think I know what it was, Bill. I think it was Bears and Giants.
So yeah, that's possibly it.
I think it was Bears and Giants, but you know what? This will do. Not that much, but I would have rather, if I could choose, I would have taken Philly and Seahawks, or hell, I might take Bills and the Bengals over this. But you know what? I'm going to go with the Washington Football Team. Packers going 4-6. I like this kind of party.
I also have Washington. They're going to throw the football all over the field on that defense, and that defense is really bad. In the Monday night game, the Houston Texans at the Oakland Raiders.
I like this. Mexico City, Bill. Let's go to Mexico City and enjoy, but I have the Raiders winning this one. I don't think we'll be switching quarterbacks for the Texans, but you know what? I'm going to enjoy it just because the Raiders are a fun team to watch.
And I also have the Raiders. All right.
If the Texans steal this, I'm going to be impressed, but I don't think they will.
Guess what time of year it is?
It's
Thanksgiving games.
Yep, we're getting a triad of Thanksgiving games, Bill.
The first one is the Minnesota Vikings at the Detroit Lions.
The Vikings gonna lose 6 straight, Bill. Lose 6 straight. They're gonna go negative for the first time in the season, and the Lions will be 6-4. No, they would be 7-4. They're gonna be 7-4, running away with the division. I've got the Lions.
I've got my Lions as well. It's gonna be a close game, I think. All right.
Oh yeah.
So the afternoon game on Thanksgiving, the Washington football team at the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm switching my pick. I'm going with the Washington football team. You know why, Bill? The Cowboys, unless they play a scrub team, whenever they play their division rivals, they get blown out in front of their fans. So I'm going to go with Washington just for the simple fact the Cowboys are heavily overdue for a game where they blow it when they're the clear favorites. I think this is the one.
Also have Washington as well.
I think the Cowboys, this is a division where they're just going to split with each other. There's not going to be a team that sweeps, they sweep another. I don't think that's going to happen with this division. It's too close for them.
And then the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Indianapolis Colts.
Okay, come on. I would say, come on. I wanted a 100-point game with Green Bay and Indy, but you know what? Can this game be it? I want this game to be the most high-scoring game ever in the NFL, and it'll be on Thanksgiving, no less. What a way to celebrate the feast! I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh to go 56-53 over the Colts. Please make it happen, please.
And I also have the Steelers beating the Colts badly, and that's where Mr. Pagano gets fired.
Oh, shit. I'd like to see that happen. Let's say goodbye to Chuck Pagano, Bill. But anyway, I think that'll do it. Do you have anything else to say for this, Bill?
I think I'm good.
Alright, next week we should try to get the podcast early, like on a Wednesday. I know we usually don't go for that, so I'll probably record on a Tuesday, and then I gotta get it up on Wednesday. So, Bill, in case I don't get this done by on Thursday before Thanksgiving, do you have anything to say about in terms of Thanksgiving wishes?
Have a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy football. It's going to be a fun day.
Yep. Yeah, same for me. I hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving, safe travels and all that. And I'm amazed we went through this podcast without once referencing politics. I'm very proud of myself. Football football's a good get away from home type of thing, thankfully. Anyway, hopefully we'll see you guys before Thanksgiving.